Hey guys, it's Monica. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about how to make and save money. Today we're going to be talking about how to start getting out of debt. Now, if you're in debt, don't sweat it. 8 in 10 Americans are in debt, and it's probably even higher right now. When my husband and I first started going out, we both had student loan debt. I had about $37,000 in student loans, and my husband, I honestly can't remember. I know he had more than me. He probably had easily over 50 grand. And one day we just decided, we were going to get married, we were going to start a family, we wanted to start paying off all of our debt. So we were working hard, paying that off, when all of a sudden we got into credit card debt. We couldn't make our monthly payments, the interest rate was really high, and we found ourselves in over $33,000 worth of credit card debt. Now, if you're in credit card debt, maybe you're thinking, okay, that's not a lot, or maybe that is a lot. Each person is different. So if you're in $10,000 worth of debt, or maybe $300,000 worth of debt, don't sweat it. The number is irrelevant. Basically, all it means is it might just take you a little bit longer to get out of debt, but the steps are the same. So fast forward to today, my husband and I have zero credit card debt. We have zero student loans, and we even paid off one of the mortgages on the condo that we rent out. The one mortgage had about 9.5% interest rate, so that was ridiculous. So we worked really hard to pay both of those off. So now we have a positive 6-figure net worth. We're saving and we're investing our money. So I want to tell you that it can be done. It takes time, it takes patience, but it's not hard. These are all steps that anyone can start doing today. So the first thing I recommend is start reading. My books that I recommend to my family and friends if they want to organize their finances and get out of debt are Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. It's great for beginners, super easy to read, not those technical words trying to figure out personal finance. And the other book I recommend is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I'll include links to both of those books in the description box below. But if you're not looking to spend any money, which I'm not recommending, like I said, they're cheap. If you're looking to buy and really invest in your future and you want step-by-step guide of how to do stuff, those books are great. But if not, I also will include a link to a book that I also love. It is The Millionaire Next Door. So I have a link for that. It's free PDF that you could read. All right, so let's get started. Okay, step number 1, you're going to create an income and expense sheet. So you could write on a piece of paper or you could use an Excel spreadsheet, whichever you prefer. In the one column, you're going to include how much money you make. So if you have any side hustles or just your regular 9 to 5, if you're a single income family, just how much you make each month. Then in the other column, you're going to include all your expenses, any monthly expenses that you have, your car payment, credit card debt, student loans, water bill, gas bill, electric bill, everything that you could think of. If you do your car insurance, if you pay that maybe once a year, divide that up by 12 and average how much you would pay each month. You want to include everything, every little thing that you could think of. Your subscriptions, I'll include a link in the description box below because I do have a post specifically for things that people forget. Maybe it's for the holidays and birthdays, all these little things that you don't realize that you're spending money on, you want to include on this sheet. And then at the end, you're going to have a number, a total, how much you make each month and how much you spend each month. Now, if you're in debt, chances are the amount that you spend is probably bigger than how much you make. So our goal is to flip it around. You're going to start making and saving more money than what you actually spend. So do that. That is the first step. Step number 2 is to cut your spending. If you're working your way out of debt, you can't continue spending as much as you are now because it's basically like you're in a ship that's sinking and you just keep pushing the water out and more water keeps coming in. So obviously you have to look at your needs versus your wants. Obviously you need to spend money on housing, transportation, food, but everything else is just extra. When we were working our way out of debt, we actually cut our cable bill. I loved watching the Food Network and TV, but at the time, getting out of debt was more important to me. So we cut that. Now they have the Amazon Fire Stick, the Hulu, Amazon Prime offers a lot of free movies. So there are other options, cheaper options. So if that's an option for you, like I said, you have to look at your needs and your wants. People think certain things that they want, they think of it as a need, like I need to get my nails done. No, you don't need to get your nails done. You like getting your nails done, but maybe right now you're just gonna have to cut back. And that is something that you have to look at and make a sacrifice. Another way to cut your spending is to probably just try to pay cash. A lot of people put things on credit card and can't afford it. You're less likely to spend as much money if you have the cash. Some people use the cash envelope method, which each month they take their paycheck or each week and they allot a certain amount that they could spend that week on a certain category. So maybe I say, okay, this week I can only spend $100 on groceries. So once that money is empty out of that envelope, that's it. That's all I can spend. I have to wait till the next week. If you do have to spend money, think about what you're buying. Like I said, is it a need? Is it a want? And compare, look around, shop around. There's a ton of great cashback apps. The one that I recommend that I love the best is Ebates. They have the app and the online, and basically it's 100% free. If I want to buy something, let's say when I went to go buy my contact lenses on Walgreens, I go to Ebates, I sign up, it's free, and then I click on Ebates, and then they send me to the Walgreens site, and then I got, I want to say 12% cash back on what I spent on my contact lenses. They also gave me a promo code for free shipping, and I got an additional 25% off coupon as well. So I got a ton of money back buying something that I was going to buy anyways. So Ebates just basically offers a lot of online and in-store retailers, and they just give you cash back. It's an incentive for people to spend through their site, so they get money back from the retailers, and also then they also pass along that savings to you. So I'll include a link to that below. I also have a full review if you want to see how to use it step by step. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend it if it wasn't free and I've actually gotten paid. They pay you quarterly, so whenever you get money back or you save, I don't recommend, try not to spend money, but if you are going to buy something online, definitely look at Ebates first to see if you can get money back on what you're spending. So that's another way to save money. Also, I don't like cutting coupons. I go to the grocery store, I try to buy stuff that's on sale or something that I really need. But there's a few apps that they have. I use Ibotta and Fetch Rewards, and all you have to do is you just take a picture of your receipt. You don't have to cut coupons ahead of time. You could look at them ahead of time to see what's on sale, but I usually only look at it afterwards because I'm not looking to buy something just because it's on sale. If I need it and then I happen to get points back because of it, then that's great. So those are also great apps to get money back doing stuff that you already are doing anyways. So try your best to cut your spending. Look at all your different things that you're spending money on and see what can be taken out of your budget. What don't you need right now? And again, remember, this is only temporary. Just because you're cutting out now doesn't mean you can't put it back. So if you're not getting your nails done now, saving some money, take that extra money and put it towards the bills that you're trying to pay off right now. And then later on, as your bills get paid off and you have more money, you can start getting your nails done. Okay, so now let's go to step number 3. Step number 3 is negotiating your bills. I think a lot of people don't realize is you could save so much money just by calling all your credit card companies. Especially now with Corona, just call them up and just say, listen, I've been a loyal customer for X amount of years. I'm struggling to pay my bills right now. Is there anything you could do to help me? I would really appreciate it. And usually when you're nice, they could give you some options. Sometimes they could lower your interest rate. Sometimes they could give you a little slack. Obviously, they're not just gonna waive all your debt. They might just tack it on at the end. So that's something you do need to look in, because I don't always think that is the best way to get out of debt, but just talk to them. I know I've negotiated, I had a few overdraft fees when I couldn't pay the bills, or I just forgot, I was trying to put money in and I didn't have the cash at the time. And I just called my bank up and I said, listen, and those are expensive and they really add up. I think I had about $90 in overdraft fees. Each time it was like 35. So I called the bank and I was just like, listen, is there anything you can do? Could you please waive these fees? And they did. It was that simple. It took a few minutes to make that phone call, but even if it took a half an hour to save $70, that's a lot of money. So just look at all your bills, all your debt, and just go down the list and just call them and just see what options they have for you. Another thing is too, even when you're buying stuff, negotiate. People think that prices are firm. Like if you're going to, we had to buy a new washer. And we went to a few different stores, priced it out. We went to Lowe's, we went to Home Depot, and we went to a local place by our house. And we priced it all out. And we ended up buying locally. And all my husband did was he went up to the guy. There was the exact same model they had at Home Depot. And he says, listen, if you could just match the price or do $50 better. And we ended up getting it for cheaper. So that saved us, I want to say $50. So there's a lot of things that you could do that people don't realize. You don't have to be, you just have to ask. The worst thing that happens is they say no, but try to negotiate your bills. Every bit of savings is going to add up, and you could take that money and keep putting it on top of your debt, and you'll get out of debt a lot faster. So start negotiating, calling people up today. Step number 4, you should start saving. Even if you don't have any money, I know this is a big debate. If you're trying to get out, should I be saving money? Should I be paying off my debt? Things come up. And especially for us, when things are going bad, it's like even more things happen. So it's important to have an emergency fund, rainy day fund. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of money. For us, we started automating that. We started putting away, I think we started off with just $20 a week, and just out of our paychecks, just put $20 a week into account, and it slowly started building up. Dave Ramsey recommends that you just save $1,000 for an emergency fund. Other people recommend more, some people recommend less, but I think $1,000 is a great number to start with, because let's say your hot water heater goes bad or something breaks, your car problems, that's pretty much a good number that can cover that, so you're not getting put into more debt. So just figure out a number that you can put. Like I said, start off small, even if you're just putting $10 away a week, and then increase a little bit, and you probably won't even notice. Stop eating out, little different things, and it'll just start building up really fast. So definitely build up your savings, but once you hit that $1,000 mark, just start putting every bit of extra cash that you have towards your debt. Because I know for me, I've always been a saver. My husband's more of the spender, but even though I've always been a saver, we still found ourselves in credit card debt. And I think the biggest problem for me was I was putting money into savings, and at one point we had a good amount of savings, and I should have just taken that money and put towards our credit card debt. But in my head, I was like, I saved this money, I don't want to use it. Well, I should have used it. Debt is also considered an emergency. If you're paying 15, sometimes 20-something% in interest, and you just have money sitting in a savings account making, now it's less than 1% in interest, then that's just silly. I should have taken the money and put it off. But like I said, learn from my mistakes. So save up a good amount for your emergency fund, and then just start taking every bit and just putting it towards the debt. There's two different ways you can start paying off your debt. There's the debt avalanche and the debt snowball. So the debt snowball means you start off with the small debt that you have first. So let's say you have $100 that you owe for some clothing store, for Macy's, and then you have $5,000 that you owe for maybe your car payment. So start paying off the small stuff first, and then working your way up. So once you pay off that $100, or let's say it wasn't $100, let's say it was a little bit more, and it was costing like $50 a month. Now you pay that off, take that $50 that you were paying towards that small bill, and put it towards the next biggest bill that you have. Or you could do the debt avalanche. Some people like to do that, paying off the debt that has the highest interest first. So if I had a debt, like that's what I was doing with the mortgage, like it had extremely high interest rate. It would have taken me forever, and it would have cost me so much money in interest. So if you only have maybe $2,000 that you owe for a debt that maybe has a really high interest rate, and you have a bunch of different smaller ones, maybe you want to just start putting all that money towards the big one first, just to get rid of that one that has the highest. Like I said, I prefer to start from small to biggest, but if I had something that had a really high interest rate, I would try to pay that off first and then work your way going backwards. But do what works best for you. You'll see what works for one person isn't always going to work for you, and that's okay. But try it out. Maybe you'll try one way, and then you're saying, you know what, I'd rather pay off the small bills first and get rid of that debt. And that's also a fun way too, because then you actually see progress. Like, okay, I got rid of this credit card bill, I got rid of this credit card bill, and then you're just working your way up. Let's see, I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. Okay, so yes, automate your savings, and then you get to that point where you could even automate paying off your bills. In the beginning, if you don't have a lot of money, just try your best to pay the minimum balance, and then start paying off the little ones or the big ones, and then take that money and put it towards the other bills. You could definitely do it. Just like I said, regularly review your finances. For us in the beginning, when we were paying off our debt, we probably looked at our finances, I want to say every month. And then now we probably only look at it every 3 months, 4 months. But in the beginning, you definitely want to keep looking at it. Don't feel like it's, my husband hates budgets. He doesn't like to feel restricted. And I know a lot of people don't, but don't think of it as a budget. It's just you keeping track of your finances and seeing where you could spend and where you could save. All right, step number 5, increase your income. There are so many different ways you could do this. Now, if you're a stay-at-home parent, you might be saying, okay, I'm busy watching the kids. There are things you could do. I was doing surveys online. They were paying me in gift cards, in points, in actual cash. So there's lots of different sites that offer that, legitimate sites. I mean, some of them just take more time than others, but I do get paid. Pinecone Research, they pay you cash. They give me $3 for every survey that I take. So you're not making a full-time income. You're not even making a part-time income. But if you have the time, taking that extra money, like for us, I was taking the extra money and paying off debt, or I was using it to buy birthday gifts or Christmas gifts, so I didn't have to actually take money that we were making. I could still use that to pay off our debt, but also still do the things that we weren't willing to cut out. Right now, we side hustle. We sell things online. We sell things at the flea market, so that's another option. If you have things, just look around in your house. I'm sure you have a ton of stuff that maybe you don't use anymore, you don't want, and just put it up on Facebook Marketplace, maybe Craigslist. You have to be careful because I know there's a lot of scammers, but Facebook Marketplace is a good place. eBay, you just got to watch out for the fees and the shipping. But that's something that you could do at home right now. So you don't actually have to go and get another part-time job or full-time job if you can't, if you don't have the time. Just look around online. There's other ways, like I blog, so I make a little bit of extra money blogging. Some people make money on YouTube. I know they don't pay a lot. Like I said, I'm not making money on YouTube, but you can make extra money doing that. Just look at different ways. I mean, you could babysit, you could, let's see, what else do people do? I mean, like I said, selling for us has been the easiest because we can do it whenever we want. If we don't have time, we don't have to do it. But just any sort of income that you could bring in and take that money and act like you never even got it. Just take that money. Like if I sold something after I pay for the product or what it was to ship it, and let's say I end up making $20, take that $20, put it into a separate account where you don't see it, and just use it to pay off your debt. You're going to be amazed just by cutting all your spending and the little bit of extra money that you do make, just put it towards your debt. So do that, research, and see what you could do to just make some extra money so you could start paying off your debt faster. All right, guys, that is it. That is exactly how simple it is to start getting out of debt today. Just 5 simple steps: creating your income and expense sheet to see how much debt you're in and what you need to do, how long it's going to take you to get it out. There's a ton of calculators that you can look at. I know for me that was a big incentive, seeing how long it was going to take me. Like, okay, if I increase how much I'm putting towards a bill, maybe if I just increase by $50, how long is it going to take me to get out of debt? If I increase it by $5 or $100, if I pay this one off, how long is it going to take me to get out of debt? Because that's very exciting, just the little steps, and rewarding yourself along the way. Like when we paid off a certain amount, we're like, you know what, we stopped eating out for a few months, and we're like, you know what, we're going to start eating out once a month. So that's a great way, just giving yourself an incentive. Maybe you want to go on vacation, buy some new shoes. Just like I said, look at the light at the end of the tunnel. I know it stinks right now. It's going to take you some time, but it gets a lot better. We go on vacation twice a year now. Things are great. For a while, we weren't going on any vacations, but we were willing to make that sacrifices back then so that we could do the stuff that we want to do now. And cutting your spending, look at everything that you can, how you could reduce it, negotiate all those bills. You can do it. Like I said, just a simple little line. You just say, please, can you help me? And people are usually really nice and willing to help you to negotiate. Like I said, even if half of the people that you call say no, if half of the people say yes, it is an insane amount of how much you could actually save and use that money to pay off your debt. Automate those savings. That is the biggest thing that has been for us to save our emergency fund and start paying off our debt faster, because it's something that you don't have to think about. Start off small and increase that number as you go. Maybe if you get a raise or if you're working more overtime, increase that number from $10 to $50. And then eventually you get to a point where you're saving $100 a week. I know it doesn't sound realistic right now, but you will get to that point, I promise. Increasing your income, bring in as much money as you can. I think now when we live in this side hustle sort of world right now, that a lot of people are doing stuff. Some stuff is really hard, some stuff is easier. We go to the Goodwill, find stuff to flip, garage sales, but just stick to what you know, or pick something that you want to learn. Like I said, for us, it's selling things. If you know how to play an instrument, if you could babysit, if you clean houses, I was doing that, and just an extra $50, $100 a week really helps and adds up. And that's it. I really hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions at all, just include it, put it down in the comments below, and I'll try to answer those. And if there's anything in this video, like I said, I tried to keep it simple. You could start getting out of debt now, but if there's anything you want me to go into more detail about, just put it in the description box below, and I'll try to make a video to help you guys get out of debt. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon.